Have you ever loved someone so much that even time couldn't make the pain go away? I met Emily in the most ordinary way, at a bus stop on a rainy Tuesday. She was holding a broken umbrella, laughing at how useless it was, while I stood there drenched because I'd forgotten mine. Without thinking, I stepped closer and tilted the edge of my jacket over her shoulder. It was such a small gesture, but in that moment, something in my life shifted. Emily had this way of making everything feel lighter. She'd turn burnt toast into a joke, a traffic jam into a karaoke session, a bad day into a shared pint of ice cream on the couch. I used to tell her she had sunlight in her bones, and she'd roll her eyes, but smile anyway. We weren't perfect, money was always tight, and our apartment was barely bigger than a shoebox. But it didn't matter. We were building something together, even if it was just a life full of little moments. Our 5th anniversary was coming up, and I wanted it to be special. I worked extra shifts, skipped lunches, and quietly saved for a weekend trip to the mountains. She'd always talked about wanting to wake up somewhere with a view of endless trees. I found a cabin online, rustic but cozy, and booked it. I never got the chance to tell her. 2 days before we were supposed to go, Emily collapsed in the kitchen. At first, I thought she'd just fainted, but her face was pale in a way I'd never seen before. I called the ambulance, my hands shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. The paramedics took her away while I stood there, useless, in my socks. At the hospital, the words felt like they were in another language. Aggressive, late stage, spread too far. She had known about the diagnosis for months but hadn't told me. Didn't want me to worry, she said. She'd wanted to protect me from the fear she was carrying every day. I wanted to be angry at her for keeping it from me, but all I could feel was the crushing weight of the truth. Our time was shorter than I'd ever imagined. The next weeks were a blur of hospital rooms, IV drips, and whispered conversations in the dark. Emily never once complained about the pain. What broke her wasn't the illness. It was watching me pretend to be strong when she knew I was falling apart. One night, when the machines were the only sound in the room, she told me, "Promise me you'll keep finding sunlight even without me." I nodded, but I didn't know how I could. She passed away early on a Thursday morning. I was holding her hand, tracing circles on her skin when her breathing slowed and then stopped. The silence was unbearable. I stayed in that chair for hours because leaving meant admitting she was really gone. After the funeral, the world kept moving, but I didn't. I'd wake up and reach for her side of the bed, forgetting for half a second that it was empty. The trip to the mountains never happened. The envelope with the cabin reservation is still in my desk drawer, untouched. Sometimes I take it out and imagine us there, her in an oversized sweater, coffee in hand, staring at the trees. It's been 2 years, and I still hear her voice when I'm about to make a bad joke, still see her smile when I walk past the bakery she loved. People tell me time heals, but the truth is, it doesn't. It just teaches you how to live with the ache. I've kept my promise to her, in small ways, letting myself laugh with friends, watching sunsets, planting flowers in the little patch of soil outside our building, but every night before I sleep, I whisper, "Good night, Emily," and in that quiet moment, I swear I can still feel her sunlight just for a second.